Good morning. I'm Margaret Collins, Founding Executive Director of the Center for Creative Economy. I want to thank NC IDEA for recognizing Winston-Salem as a model entrepreneurial ecosystem. We would have loved to host you all in our region. Since COVID had other plans for us, I'm delighted to join you here today to discuss startup community collaboration with my fellow ecosystem builders, Bob Bowles, president of Winston Starts, and Kevin Clark, founder and CEO of Point Motion. We are each going to provide a brief thumbnail of our organizations and then dive into working together in Winston-Salem. So I'm up first. CCE creates and nurtures a culture for entrepreneurs to thrive and is actively building a startup community here. Our work focuses on creative entrepreneurs, particularly women and minority founders. This is all part of our mission to grow, launch, and accelerate creative businesses. That video you just saw was shot in Winston Starts on our Velocity Demo Day. So many of those entrepreneurs you saw were part of our cohort. CCE Vets trains and molds startups through our business curriculum and training programs. And we are a catalyst for 10 to 15 new company starts each year. Our programs include Momentum, a networking and idea generation monthly event, Kinetic, a 4-week boot camp which takes entrepreneurs from idea stage to prototype, and the Velocity Accelerator, a 9-week program that fleshes out the business model for serious entrepreneurs, hones in on customers, and gets them to launch. We collaborate with 35 plus mentors that work to make it real. The CCE Launch Fund invests $50,000 in seed stage funding each year with the most promising entrepreneurs. An interesting fact is that we attract founders globally to our programs, which create a powerful geographic diversity. Companies learn about Winston-Salem, and our local entrepreneurs get connected worldwide. Our panelist, Kevin Clark, was an accelerator winner in 2018 and decided to move here to Winston-Salem because of the program's mentors and opportunities, and he's going to share more about that with you. Preet Singh, founder of Live Furnish, the winner of our 2019 Velocity Accelerator, moved from India to Winston-Salem. You heard in the video that he's hiring 7 people right now. He also closed a $1.5 million investment round, of which $1 million was raised here locally in the Triad. And collaboration, we collaborate very closely with Winston Starts. This incubator is a great next step, and all of our 2020 Winston-Salem-based Velocity cohorts have been offered a spot. Currently, about 30% of the founders in Winston Starts are from CCE's programs. Bob, I want to turn it over to you, and could you give us a thumbnail of Winston Starts?
Thanks, Margaret. I'm delighted to be here with you and Kevin to talk about the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Winston-Salem. As president, I've stepped into the role this past August, and Winston Starts is coming up on its 3rd anniversary this February. Winston Starts is a nonprofit admission-based incubator that works with startups to help them scale their businesses as a part of our overall mission of driving economic development for Winston-Salem and the Triad. At the cornerstone of what we provide our companies is our mentorship with a rich, deep pool of over 60 mentors. You saw in the video some of the wonderful space that we're able to offer our startups with over 35,000 square feet of space to provide them an environment to build and grow their businesses. We surround that with a set of curriculum and programming that go across a wide range of topics that are critical for businesses to build and grow. We currently have a little over 30 companies in Winston Starts. Those companies generate about 11 million in annualized revenue. They've raised 30 million in capital and employ about 160 employees. We continue to add companies. Most recently, 6 are coming into Winston Starts. And as Margaret said, a handful of them have come from the Velocity program, as Kevin did. And so let's shift over and hear from Kevin and about Point Motion and his journey to Winston-Salem. Kevin?
Awesome. Thanks for that segue, Bob. And it's a pleasure to be here with you and Margaret. Definitely glad to share more about Point Motion. You know, we provide patient monitoring tools for healthcare specialists. And just to tell you more about that, our solution is centered in music creation. So it allows for patients to engage in cognitive and motor function assessments through music interaction. I'm a Berklee College of Music alumni, so I'm very passionate about piano. Jazz composition is what I studied, film scoring. And we're using this tool to empower healthcare specialists to automatically collect valuable data on their clients through a patient's interaction and music-based experiences. So, especially due to COVID, access to healthcare specialists is extremely limited. So our tool uses the built-in camera on any laptop or tablet to track a patient's interactions in music-based experiences. And we partner with healthcare experts who choreograph each movement and the prompts and automate those into assessments that they were traditionally doing in person into a remotely deployable experience that is collecting objective data. So we're helping healthcare experts monitor their patients' progress over time while bringing music into healthcare challenges people are taking on very courageously and where we believe music is truly needed and where it will really benefit. So I'm really grateful to join you all and share more about my journey as an entrepreneur. I went through the Velocity program. I'm now within the Winston Starts incubator. And although I originated in Boston, Massachusetts, we moved to Winston-Salem. I say we because I brought my team here with me. And we moved here to this city as truly a city of art and innovation. And we came here to realize Point Motion's potential to its absolute fullest. But there's some key things that even made that possible. And I'm really excited to share with you all. So hopefully we can get some more entrepreneurs here and keep growing this ecosystem.
Well, thanks, Kevin. I wanted to just kind of dive in more deeper into your journey and your story, because I think that kind of really helps us all share how we are collaborating together. So could you kind of share a little more about where were you in your business when you made the decision to move? And then why did you decide to do it? And how did you leverage the resources here? I mean, what was it that was attracting you here? And what was the kind of pivotal point that made you decide to do it?
Absolutely. So as I said, I was studying jazz composition and film scoring at Berklee College of Music. So I was in Boston, an amazing ecosystem full of talent, great minds, great ideas. And that's where the ideas started. And I was able to really focus in on shaping the why behind my idea and, taking that and really enacting what I felt was necessary to move things forward one step at a time. One thing I never tried to do is to accomplish this in one step. So I started to look into the world after graduating and taking a few years to really develop my business. I started to look out and say, where's the best place for what I'm doing? Just looking at the way just nature works, one plant might work better in one place than it does in a different ecosystem. So what made sense for a business that was taking, aspects of healthcare and technology and music, and where could that come together? And really, it took me some time, and eventually I came across the Velocity Accelerator, which actually I discovered while in Jacksonville, Florida, doing another event. And I discovered it, and I said, you know what, let me give this a shot. And I kind of just took the last of my savings, and I went ahead and I said, this is worth it, because these people, they not only value innovation, but also art and expression and this deeper sense of innovation that can happen. It's not just about technology and outcomes, but also finding solutions that are humanistic in their approach. So I would say the Velocity Accelerator was probably the big point for being here for a few, even just in Winston-Salem for a week. I was able to find that so many people here were very selflessly collaborative in how they wanted to, see these ideas move forward. It wasn't about, what can I get out of this, but how can we work together to make something more more.
Thank you so much. And so then you came through Velocity, the accelerator, and then what prepared you to go into Winston Starts, and how are you actually growing now that you're in Winston Starts, and what are the key benefits there?
Right. So basically after finishing Velocity, I went back to Boston, Massachusetts, and kind of tried to keep things going, but I realized that just so many great things about the people and the people who are enacting change within the community at Winston-Salem, I just kept coming back. So every 3 months, I ended up just booking a plane ticket and coming back to Winston-Salem, and ended up meeting with just a number of the people within the ecosystem. Winston Starts, eventually, as a result of being in Velocity, I was able to, decide, well, we could go into Winston Starts, but even then it was like a three week, I think a 3 month Explore program. But in that, I was like, am I really going to go here for 3 months and then go back and then have to go, do a plane trip every time I want? And so I said, why not just move here and really just start to grow those relationships on a more connected level? So that's basically what we ended up doing.
Cool. Cool. So, Bob, let's turn it over to you now. How can you address the importance of collaboration between our organizations in Winston-Salem, and how we kind of work together to benefit entrepreneurs? And what is the secret sauce there in Winston Starts that kind of keeps people coming in? And just love to just hear how you would like to share your vision of how the Point Motion story is going.
Sure, Margaret. Yeah, one of the things that we're trying to do within Winston-Salem is alignment across the various entrepreneurial support organizations. And so, as Margaret described CCE and her Velocity program, we also have Flywheel and their new venture accelerator program. And for many of these entrepreneurs, those are great, focused, intense programs that they're able to go in and develop, a market validation, a customer discovery, try to build a business plan for those 8 to 10 to 12 weeks with which those programs are focused. But when they're done, they need a landing zone. They need a place to come that allows them to continue on that journey. And so we have really developed an alignment with Margaret's organization and New Ventures here in Winston-Salem that give these entrepreneurs that pathway forward and continue to provide them a framework of support. So while we're not an accelerator, we don't provide direct specific curriculum over that period of time, we do surround these startups with programming that are focused on things that are important for any business to grow and scale. And so, the connections that we have with Margaret and her organization and others like that here in Winston-Salem, I think have really made Winston-Salem an attractive location for entrepreneurs to come to, because they know their journey is going to be one that's going to take some time and take various types of support. And I think that's a thing that Winston-Salem has done. I'm new to Winston-Salem, and so I experience entrepreneurial ecosystems in other cities, and I've been very, very pleased with what's been put in place here that really is a well-aligned collaborative environment.
Kevin, would you agree with that, or would you address the ability about the support between the various organizations?
Absolutely. I mean, that is probably the single thing that got me interested in moving here. And beyond the collaborative, I mean, people can collaborate when it's easy. I mean, Winston-Salem is a place where people collaborate on the hard ideas. They're collaborating around things that are truly, I think, something that can really be taken on here with the kind of expertise, the kind of mindset, the kind of compassion you see within the community. I mean, that's just evident even before I came here. This is a place where Maya Angelou moved, and she said, this is where I want to be. This is, where the first women's college was founded and still exists today. So there's absolutely a creative, community here that is collaborating. But more importantly, a community that's not afraid to collaborate around hard ideas that are surrounding solutions for challenges that some people are kind of just don't have the courage to take on. But here we do it in a way that is very artistic and human-centered. So you're in a supportive and collaborative environment. How has it really helped your business? What aspects of your business have improved by being here? And what else could you benefit from as it continues to grow? Right. Well, I mean, it's been great to work with the mentorship, the ecosystem in general. And a challenge would pose to people within the community is to really think about what everything that NC Idea is doing. They can't be alone in in this mission, and they're doing an amazing job. They're bringing value to the top end of companies that are doing amazing things, and they're also bringing it to the level where people are just starting ideas that are really going to rebuild their community. But it can't just be up to that in order to solve the challenges and to progress. This isn't a matter of, you know, NC Idea, go solve the problem. They're just one very important player in this, but we all need to collaborate, and we all need to take part in this kind of mission that we've all set forward, which is to find solutions to really global problems. So what I would say is this: if anyone out there sees the companies that NC Idea on a regular basis is promoting, is saying, hey, here are the companies that we're backing, I would say don't just let it be something to observe. Let it be something to back. Let it be something to see, even whether it be the companies that, you know, that win or just make it to semifinals, or just make it into whatever stage. You know, take note on the businesses that NC Idea is promoting and say to yourself, is there a way that I can propel this forward? Is there someone within the community that I can connect these businesses to? Because that's the collaborative mindset of North Carolina. It's not just sit back and let big organizations handle the problem. It's big organizations working with people within the community to funnel change that'll be systematic and positively beneficial equally across diverse communities, not just for a singular motivation. I think that, you know, just to finish with one notion, that is kind of, in my opinion, the big secret that's happening here in Winston-Salem, is that there's a selfless nature to the way these programs are built, where they're letting the ecosystem decide what do they want to put forward, letting the community vouch for what are the problems that they want to be solved. And that's guiding the change. It's not a top-down approach. It's really centered in a sort of connected network that's built.
Well, that's a really good point, Kevin. And there's lots of other things that we could be doing. But I think one of the things that we're learning is that you can't wait for someone else to tell you that you can do something, that you have to go ahead and decide, yes, this is something that with my experience or my organization, we can tackle this. And so it's really what we're trying to do is looking for those problems, looking for those things that really need to be fixed, either in our ecosystem or helping founders with the resources that they need.
Well, can I just note in regards to that, Margaret? Because I think it's important to note that's kind of what CCE is doing. It's not just about finding the problems, but it's about finding people who are passionate and really care about solving the problems. You know, not just backing an idea, but backing the people who have the reason to propel that forward. I can tell you right now, studying jazz composition and film scoring in college did not prepare me in a way that said, this is the picturesque version of somebody who's going to solve a problem in healthcare in such an innovative way. That's not the case, but still here I am, you know, a person who's accomplishing that alongside other people who share that mission. So I think it's not just looking for ideas, but what's happening really well is that North Carolina in general, and Winston-Salem, and that's why I moved to this city, is really good at finding the people who are beyond a 3-year, 4-year timeline to be done in solving this problem. These are people who said, this is something that resonates with me in my life, and I'm ready to put myself, say on the dining board to execute this. No matter how many times I have to jump, I'm going to get this perfectly. And take NC Idea and Winston Starts and Velocity as that coach that's on the sidelines, that's ready to stay there with you after hours to see you perfect that process, to see you get into the finer details. That's the difference. You know, what makes a company like mine move from Boston to Winston-Salem is that kind of attention to detail.
Right, and I think that's something we really strive to do at CCE is develop a culture and a mindset for growth so that you can actually feel like it's a safe place, that you can open up, that you can bare your soul, you can figure it out. You don't have to be right all the time. And then by gaining confidence and growth, then you can actually validate your idea and move forward. So that's something that we really strive to do at CCE, and our programs are early stage. We work with early stage entrepreneurs, helping them figure out the ideas and validate, and then moving to launch. And that's why it really works beautifully with Winston Starts and also with Flywheel. My office is right here in the Flywheel Foundation and the Flywheel co-work spot. So we are very all intertwined. So it works really well. Bob, can you share with us, what do you think should be our next steps? I mean, what do we need to do to continue to develop and support our entrepreneurs? I know that you all are always looking ahead, and just would be curious about what you're thinking of, things that we should be continuing to do to share.
Sure, Margaret. You know, as our companies start to scale, which is happening already, we have companies today that have started to grow very nicely. They're hiring employees. They need that continued level of training, curriculum, and support as they reach those inflection points of their business. And at some point in time, they're going to need to leave our environment and go out into Winston-Salem and the broader community and establish their own offices and get assistance in that. And so we're starting to work with the Chamber and other organizations within the city and the Triad to provide the support that gives these entrepreneurs and these companies that have really started to scale, which is exactly what we want them to do, and to where their journey can continue here, but not necessarily within our space, but continue on in leveraging the other support services that we do provide. And I think that's very critical. So as we scale our own operation, we need to continue to help the rest of the city and the county and the Triad be able to help these companies move in to the environment that's going to allow them to continue to prosper and grow here.
That's great. And I guess another thing that we could possibly talk about is capital, because that's something that all startups need. And we provide a very small seed fund with our entrepreneurs in Velocity, and they are always looking for other resources. So very happy that Crete Singh at Live Furnish was able to close around locally, the bulk of it locally. And we'd like to see more entrepreneurs being able to get their funding stack established here, but it doesn't exist right now. So how can we improve on that?
So there's a few things on that front. One is we're trying to help our entrepreneurs in developing capital raising strategies. You know, in some cases, this is the first time that they're raising money. And so we have a whole curriculum around helping our entrepreneurs think through how to go through a capital raise strategy. And then secondly, we are starting to try to reach out into the Triad community for people who might have an interest in investing and looking at investing in startups as an alternate part of their portfolio, and giving them education and training as to what it means to invest in businesses like this. And we also have our event coming this January, our investor forum, in which we're going to be inviting investors from all across the state and the country on January 20th to come in. And we're going to have 4 presentations from our companies within Winston Starts who are looking for investment. And we'll have an investor panel from these investment organizations about the current trends and environment in investing in entrepreneurship today.
Oh, that will be great. I recall that program last January. It was very impactful, and you had a huge crowd. I guess it will be virtual.
It will be. It will be. We'll be just like this, but we're excited. We're getting a lot of support and a lot of interest. And to some degree, some of the investors who can come virtually makes it a little bit easier for them to join us.
Right. I know with our demo day, we did it virtually as well. And we had some investors from Raleigh, DC, and New York that were actually be able to be on the call. So I think that's something that we all have to be working on, is developing our outreach to other communities that would be interested in both learning more about Winston-Salem and investing in the startups that we develop here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think we're reaching our end, Margaret, of our discussion. It was great to be with you and Kevin.
Does anyone have one final thought for the show? I want
to thank Tom and NC Idea and everybody on the NC Idea team for having us here.